What's going on, everybody? Teddy Baldassarre from teddybaldassarre.com. In this video, we're looking at a watch available for purchase on my website with the Glashu S.A.R rescue timer. At any point throughout this video, you have any questions about this piece, link in the description down below to actually purchase a watch, get some more info, but also a place to book a call. And then finally, if you are a first-time customer of the store, please use promo code FIRSTORDER at checkout and you can get 5% off your first purchase of a watch. Love to show you what going authorized is all about. So guys, let's take a closer look at this piece. First, looking at a rundown of the specs, we have a case size of 42 millimeters, thickness of 13.5 millimeters, lug width of 22 millimeters, lug to lug of 47.3 millimeters, water resistance of 1,000 meters. Movement is an automatic Sleeta SW200. This is the top grade and heavily modified movement here though. Crystal is sapphire, 4 millimeters thick though on this crystal, and then comes in with a price of $2,399 on the rubber strap and then $2,499 on the bracelet. But if you use promo code FIRSTORDER at checkout, you can get a discount off your purchase of this watch with your first order from the store, as well as other select brands. So definitely go check that out. Now, there are certain watches that sometimes fail to draw the line in the sand about what they're really going for as a timepiece. In other words, they try to do everything for everybody, and in many instances, I find watches that tend to go this way miss the mark for everyone as a result. But when it comes to the watch that we have here today, you know exactly what you're looking at. There's no question what this piece is trying to do. Is going to be one of those that's probably not going to be for the majority of people out there, but for those that do resonate with this piece and just having a really well-constructed tool watch, this is going to be a harder one to pass up. And in my reviews, I've talked about Müller watches, and I like to go into the backstory about the brand being a family-owned German manufacturer with a storied history back to 1869 that has developed a really strong reputation for marine chronometers, speedometers, and eventually wristwatches. But if there's one watch in their catalog that probably best describes the brand's life cycle, it's probably this one, with the S.A.R rescue timer. So looking at this piece, there's no question that this is one that has distinctive looks that are rather unconventional, but this is a watch that's made to be a tool, with it actually being worn by the German Maritime Search and Rescue Service ever since this watch was introduced, which should speak to the tough build construction that this piece upholds. First, looking at this watch strapped on, we have a very unique wearing experience with the case diameter coming in at 42 millimeters and the thickness at 13.5 millimeters and the lug to lug at 47.3 millimeters. To put it simply, this watch wears smaller than the diameter, but is perhaps one of the strangest wearing experiences out there, and I don't mean that in a negative way, it's just different. Most of this is a result of the unique singular case structure that the case and lugs just kind of form together as one. The hood that casts out from the bottom on the top of the case, it kind of creates an unquestionable tool-like appearance and forms well to the strap and bracelet options available with the piece. When it comes to this watch, you're probably going to be best suited for going for the factory strap as well as the bracelet, just given the limited space for a strap to fit between the 20 millimeter lugs here, as there's kind of it's just restrictive because that top clearance on that metal hood there of the case is really just going to make it available for smaller or thinner straps to fit in. In addition, we also don't have the typical spring bars here, but instead screwed in bars that will really help securely hold the bracelet in place, but will also be a little bit more of a chore to change things out. Both the bracelet and the strap that comes with this watch are exceptional though. The strong rubber covered center link is really cool touch on the bracelet, featuring screwed in links, while the rubber strap is exceptional as well, but is going to be a bit more cumbersome to size as you actually need to cut to the appropriate length, but should provide no issues to follow. But the key for both of these straps, in an area where they really excel, is with the clasp. Both are simply phenomenal. The rubber strap comes with a steel clasp with an insanely secure 2-button release, features a diver extension that is very satisfying to lock and unlock. It just feels very premium. The same can be said for the bracelet, with it including a fold-over clasp for extra security, a diver's extension, and several micro adjustment points for easy adjustment with the strap tool. Moving back to the case, we have a couple other notable points here. First, coming with the crown at the 4 o'clock that is of the screw-down variety and assists with the 1,000 meters of water resistance. The threading is very well done and is really just clean to engage and makes the watch wear smaller given its position. The next important point here is the rubber bezel, which will really help absorb glancing blows aboard ships, which is really the reason for its construction, and I think it's just a very unique execution. And finally, the crystal that we have here when looking at this piece from the side might appear to be an ordinary flat sapphire, but we have anything but that, as this one's actually pretty nuts, being 4 millimeters thick. And just to speak to the thickness here, the date window on this piece is magnified, but unlike many watches that feature magnifications like this, you typically see a bubble magnifier cyclops that extends out from the crystal. This watch does not, as the magnifier is completely hidden as a result of the impressive thickness present here with this crystal. This flat sapphire crystal also will ensure there's no chipping of the sapphire while still offering that magnification required to see the date easily. Speaking of the idea to see things easily, that is the name of the game for the rest of this watch. The quarter markers on the dial here are just huge, assisting with the orientation. Also, the dial features a ton of superluminova, which will help really bring this dial to life in the dark. In the pencil style hands, we also find more of it, as well as a triangular tip of the second hand. If you haven't picked up on it yet, this watch just means business in nearly everything that it does. And that definitely is the case when it comes to the dial. Well done, but straightforward, so the wearer can really get all the necessary information with just a glance. Now, flipping this watch over, we have a closed screw down case back protecting the top grade Sellita SW200 within. However, this watch, as well as other Miele watches, do not come with just your run-of-the-mill third-party movement, as these movements are all very heavily modified, and actually are deconstructed and then constructed again with their own proprietary components. Despite it being hidden from view, this movement comes with an engraved custom rotor. It has blued screws, which are actually applied by Miele themselves, and a nice regulator for fine-tuning the accuracy of the movement. And if you're not familiar with this regulator system, this is known as Miele's woodpecker neck. So it's a patented regulator system invented by the company back in 2003. It's basically another interpreted design from the swan neck style regulator neck that you'll see in some other watches, but this one provides similar sensitive adjustment while improving on upping the shock resistance in the process. This movement operates at 28,800 vibrations per hour or 4 Hertz, features hacking, which can stop the second hand when pulling out the crown to the farthest position, also features hand winding, and has a power reserve of 38 hours, and as you might expect, this watch is going to be running well under the out-of-the-box format for a lot of these Sellita SW200s. These are going to be clocking in at single digits a day. Now, first to unpack on the positives and negatives of this piece, or things just to consider. Now, first looking at, I think the elephant in the room is this is kind of a not ordinary looking watch. It's kind of weird looking, but I think that's all done with intention, obviously, given what this watch is made to do. In addition, you're also getting a little bit higher of a price range for Miele watches. This isn't an entry-level Miele watch, but it's also not trying to be. And then also, I think the lack of bracelet and strap options could be a deal breaker for some people out there. But there's a lot of things to like about this piece if this is the type of watch that you are looking for. First, it's very well constructed. It's good for the German Maritime Search and Rescue Service. It's probably good enough for you. In addition, I think this piece really just epitomizes German engineering. A lot of things are being done here not because maybe they're necessary, but just because they want to, and they want to deliver a high quality experience with their pieces. You're getting that high regulated movement, and this thing is honestly just built like a tank. And again, like I said, if this thing is good enough for the German Maritime Search and Rescue Service, it's definitely good enough for you. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. If you do have any questions about this piece, book a call with me. Love to have a conversation with you about it. Then finally, if it's your first time ordering from the store, feel free to use that promo code FIRSTORDER to get a discount of your purchase of this watch or other select brands on the site. Love to show you what going authorized is all about. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.